And welcome everybody. Here we are back for another Svengoolie Svenology conversation. Our special guest tonight, a man who's returning his original appearance on our channel 8 months ago. Ladies and gentlemen, Sven fans, welcome back. Warner, welcome, Warner.
Thank you very much. And we're gonna. Whoa! I didn't even make a joke yet. What are you doing? Oh, ah, oh, jeez. Okay, all right.
Oh
Now
boy,
we're
oh
back.
boy, oh boy.
Sorry about that.
Let me catch my breath and let's jump into comments in the meanwhile as we're getting started here. Fanboy Cantina, glad to have you along. Michaela, so it's been a minute, Michaela. Great to have you around. Good evening and happy Svengoolie Day to all from the one and only Storm Goolie sitting right there. It looks like she's got a mini rubber chicken in her picture also. Fanboy says hello to WTH. Nanette says looking forward to another dive in with Warner. Absolutely. And Chai Star G dropping his traditional let's go. Fanboy G dropping a yo. And already the crowd is well amused with Warner's antics and Warner's comedy flourishes. Boy, oh boy. Where should we even start, Warner? Where should we start the conversation? Again, it was 8 months ago when you made your first appearance here. Since then, we've also had the conversation on the channel with Nanette and with Sarah Gooley and with Drew about breaking down the review of the C2E2. And some time has passed, and here we are now. Where, so many things to talk about. Where do you want to get started?
Well, let's start with some of the prop items that I have that they use on the show. It's not their props, but it's the exact same products that they've used. And I'll start with the newest one I got, Nostalgia Ferratu.
Let's do this thing already. Let's
candelabra. This one is as you can see, it's got the skulls on the head and then on the top there, and there's little bats on the candles. Now, they make two of these. The other version they make does not have the bats. The bats is the one that Nostalgia Ferratu uses. All right, Nostalgia Ferratu uses the bat one. This one is really hard to find. The one that's just a plain white candle, you can find those all day long. I tried to get one of these from eBay, and a person said they had one, and it never came. So they lied to me. But then I did find this one on Etsy, but it's the only one I've seen since then. So this one is far and few between. But I have this one. The other candelabra that Sven always has in the background is the skull, flashing lights with the skull. So you'll see this one on the show as well. Now, I have an old item that he used to have on his show, but he's not using anymore. This is the exact same model of bat that used to hang over his door when he would go do the hand on the door trick. Man. So this one is actually signed by Svengoolie. So I bought this. He was like, "Where did you find one of those?" I'm like, "I just got lucky, and I have never seen one since. The first one I'd ever seen. Hadn't seen one again. So I don't know where they come from." And then there's another item that you'll see very often sitting on his desk. It's either this coffin or this coffin sitting on his desk during the mail time. Now, these I made for him. It's actually 3 coffins in one. It also has a Jerry G. Bishop coffin in the very middle. So that one goes there. Then this one.
So you actually made those?
Then this one. I made these. I made 2 sets, one for him and one for myself. He sized one for me. And inside each coffin, there's a little picture of him inside the coffin.
That is so all in.
I've got Sven inside his coffin and the coffin lid. But yeah, these I made for him, and he has used it on the show for most of last year, and occasionally puts it back on the desk this year. This year. So you once in a while you'll see that sitting on the desk in front of him when he does his mail call.
Now, what can you tell us about your creative process in building those out?
Well, I had an idea to make a coffin because you see these little coffins all the time in the background of his show. And but so I thought, what can I do to make mine different? And the nesting coffin idea caught my eye. A couple 5 years ago or so, I saw the raw coffins, which were just cardboard, just blank cardboard, and I thought to myself, three coffins. There's been three Svens, son of Svengoolie, and the original Svengoolie from the '70s. That was the perfect number of nesting coffins to make the whole Svengoolie history of coffins. So yeah, it really just struck me as soon as I saw those nesting coffins. I had to have it, and I had to do it.
It all came together in the best of ways. Fanboy has to comment, "That's nice." Then Fanboy wound up like a Russian nesting doll of Sven with a coffin exactly. And Michaela is just giving us a straightforward wow. Double exclamation points there, one for each W. It's a beautiful thing. Truly, truly impressive craft work you've done there. Yeah, very nice. All right, let me jump back out of comments and go. You had given me a good stash of photos as you had 8 months ago when we were speaking last live. Oh, here. Okay, let me get the picture out of the way then. Sweet. Let me bring you back in. It's full on there. All right. So
Just in case we need to know where to go to find Svengoolie, there he is. He's that way.
well, that's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive.
This was I got this poster after one of his appearances. So it was telling fans where to go to meet Svengoolie, and I was able to get this poster afterwards.
Excellent. Well done. The comments keep coming in here. We got an OMG from Fanboy G. Lovely. All right, coming around. Let's go. So some more vintage material here. So this is International Time presents a Truly Ghoulie sale starring Son of Svengoolie. So where and when did you pick this up for your vast collection? If we're looking at the picture, it's a younger Rich Coase. He's got the scarf on. It's got the older painting on the coffin. Looks like a werewolf there in the portrait. Where did you find this one?
Oh, I think I got that one on eBay. I'm pretty sure. I've gotten things from various people have sent it to me, and of course, a lot of things from eBay. And I believe that one was an eBay buy from several years ago, actually. Sven's items are not really that plentiful on eBay. His new stuff is, of course, all the cups and hats and all that kind of stuff. But the older items, especially a Son of Svengoolie item, they're kind of hard to come by.
All right. Agreed. Moving on now. Okay, here we go. This is a very, very historic event. This is very discussion worthy on the internet, on the YouTube, in the social media, in the Facebook, in the Reddit, and everywhere else. So 1982, the 3D showing of the creature of the Black Lagoon, from the Revenge of the Creature of the Black Lagoon. And here you have some of the 3D glasses with the different variations and the inset of Sven there promoting the event. He's got the promotional t-shirt on for it. At one point in time, as Dave Fuentes, and again, all things Sven related to this channel, credit to Dave, known as Terror Dave on terrordaves.com. It's great for that Dave came on to this channel. It's great that Dave has been doing his blog work and is a longtime Sven fan. And then additionally, it's great that Dave made the introductions of you and me and me and Nanette and all the other parties. So every episode we have here, we got to recognize Dave. So then you were magnanimous enough to pass one of these on to Dave, since that was a missing element from his collection. And that's a generous act on your part, but go ahead and give us your background. So how long have you had these different glasses in your inventory? Did you pick them up at different points in time? How did you come to acquire the 3D glasses?
Yes, they were all bought at different times. All those glasses you see in the picture there, folks, those are all from that time period, from the '80s, when they did that when they broadcast that creature feature. Now, remember that movie was broadcast all across the country in different, markets all across the country. It wasn't just Svengoolie in Chicago; it was all over the place. So the other versions, the one that looks like the creature and the white one on the right side of the screen, those were in other markets. But here in Chicago, the red, white, and blue ones were the ones that were sold at your 7-Elevens and your convenience stores, and Jewel, I believe, had them. And as you can see in the inset photo, that was Sven wearing those glasses on the show that day, showing fans how to use the glasses. So yeah, I had a bunch of those. I was fortunate enough to get 3 or 4 of those red, white, and blue ones, which is why I had some. I think I had 3 actually. So I gave one to Dave because he had expressed the desire to get one, that he had always wanted one, and I thought, well, what the heck, he's done so much for me, so I just handed it right over to him, and he was thrilled with it.
Absolutely. And let's take uh Michaela's giving a thank you to Dave. Nanette's giving a woohoo. Chai Star has to say they're so cool. Never, right. It's educational, right? And it's great to see all 3 variants out there together. I mean, in the Migo characters, I have the 3 different colors, the 3 different variants of the creatures from the Black Lagoon. But now, joined by Dave himself in the comment section, biggest and best surprise from C2E2. And see, you never know. I talk about the study of Sven and the Svenology, and I talk about the Sven chronicity, just as we're converging and we're all celebrating Svengoolie in our way. Good things come of that. So I continue to believe, and that's the right way to just have a good, fun community together. And Fanboy G also giving a welcome recognition to Dave. Now, if I can jump back out of comments over to pictures, what have we next? Okay, to more vintage material. Look at this. We're back to WFLD TV channel 32, before the MeTV era, before the WCIU era, and what a nice close-up that is. So the Bicentennial celebration right there, May 21, 1983 at 7 p.m. How did you find this shirt? How long have you had it around?
Yeah, that one I've had for quite a while. So yeah, and again, it's an early Sven piece, so so finding the earlier T-shirts especially is really hard to find, because they get worn out and used up. I mean, that's it was a few years ago, so they get worn out, and you put them in the wash and they disappear. This one is also a WCIU one from before they went national. So the earlier ones are harder to find.
I just got to keep myself out of the screen here. So yeah, right there. So you got the channel 26 logo. You got my favorite of the sidekick mascot prop people, Tombstone, right there with his magnificent mustache. And then, as I like to refer
Right.
to it, turtleneck era. He's got the red turtleneck on. It's man. So all we know it's been a lot of years, but it's nice to see these snapshots or these souvenir pieces or these various media, 3D glasses, T-shirt, the full works. It's nice to see all the conglomeration of all the different things across time.
Yeah, and for some of the fans out there, the reason he does not wear the turtleneck anymore is because he realized under the hot lights in the studio, wearing a turtleneck was the worst choice he could have made. He said, "But as soon as I think he only wore the turtleneck for a season or 2, once he came back as Svengoolie, and that the hot lights in the studio, he was like, that's it, turtleneck is gone."
Got to be practical. Got to be practical about it. All right. So now this one. Okay. So even just looking at the Prairie Sun magazine, which was a print media that I'm not familiar with, but we got a nice. I mean, look at the paint work that Rich Coes did on his own face right there, and so he's a younger man at this time than he is now, so he's got a whole different facial countenance, and rolling the ow ow ow. Now, if we're as other reference points right there, so it was free every week, but Sammy Hagar was also noteworthy at the time, and all the different stuff. So, do you have this physical piece? You have the actual paper, or what do you? How did you send this picture to me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All the pictures I sent to you, all the pictures we're going to see tonight, folks, these are all items in my collection. So they're not from the internet or anything. They're all actually mine. And that's a Prairie Sun magazine. That was a newspaper imprint, or insert rather. And they don't even make them anymore. So But that again was son of Svengoolie time.
Yeah. As to other print media business here, so this is a TV guide from the date of October 30th. Q101. Oh boy, that's talk about. Just looking at that Q101 logo, you don't
That
see
goes
that
back,
around
huh?
so much.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. Definitely not.
All right, coming next up, what do we have here? A Trick or Treat West Environs magazine. So again, a lot of magazines are not, as the internet came around, some magazines are not still around. So it's fascinating. But musical terms. So it's a word search. Where did this one come from?
All right, now this one is, I did get this one from eBay, of course, but this is a regular, the original Svengoolie from the 70s. So this was before Rich was even on the show, and Svengoolie items from Jerry G. Bishop are really hard to find. If you think son of Svengoolie stuff is hard to find, try to find Svengoolie stuff from between 72 and 74, and that era, really difficult to find. And so this is one item, and I think if you go to the next one, maybe you'll see what the article looked like inside. Nope, that's not it. That's more. That actually is regular Svengoolie. That one is one of the TV Guide ads before he was actually on the show as Svengoolie, when he was just doing the voiceover.
Oh my gosh, yes, Screaming Yellow Theater. So the earliest days,
Screaming Yellow Theater, right?
Before Jerry G. Bishop made a physical manifestation or an on-camera appearance, when it was just purely the voice creation that was evolving into the original Svengoolie. That's pretty cool. And again, it's just the art sensibilities different in those days than they are currently. It's just nice to see the older pieces. I wanted to jump back to this one for a second. Now, even in the bottom corner there, in a time where area codes didn't need to be listed as such, right there's just a 7-digit number on that one. I'm not trying to call that number, at least not right now, but that's
right.
Kind of interesting in itself. So this is October 171. Oh my gosh, I don't want to say how I was very, very, very young in the world. I could have barely been any younger, right at that point in time. Oh my gosh, the vampire bat. And then again, this is, as you said, this is another physical piece you have in your inventory.
Right. Yep.
And now, you can't hang everything up on the wall, so you have a filing system, or you have a.
No. Well, I have books like this.
Here, let me again zoom in.
Booklets with these for.
Oh my gosh!
For paperwork,
Right, and there's the picture we're using for the thumbnail, or at least one that's very similar.
A lot of books like this.
Man, oh my gosh!
So
good stuff.
Yeah, you can't put the magazines and the little cards and stuff all over the walls. You pretty much ruin them. So I collect them in those kind of folders, ring binders.
All right.
Okay, this is the inside of that article, and that's the original Jerry G. Bishop Svengoolie. That's the inside article to that pumpkin cover we just saw a second ago.
And again, those of us who are not familiar with we're speaking to people with different levels of Sven knowledge, and some younger people and some older people. So the Hobie Day Parade, or the Hobie Day Parade, was an annual parade in Berwyn. And again, for all the lovingly shots lovingly taken at Berwyn by Jerry G. Bishop and by Rich Coes. So they're both Bishop and Coes had then been invited to come to the parade, sometimes as Grand Marshal, sometimes as guest. But so that little guy in the picture there, like, he's got to be, in his late 50s, his early 60s now. I wonder where he is in the world today.
Yeah, at this point, he may not even be alive.
That's possible too. That's possible too. All right, now coming on, this is maybe some of this stuff we've looked at before, but go ahead, Warner. Go ahead. You like to have the authentic pieces for the set. You like to have the authentic costume pieces. This is definitely one of those. Exactly the lapel pin that the the man in the hat that Rich Coes that Svengoolie wears on the jacket. So how long have you had these in your collection, and how did you track them down?
Yeah, I think the black one I found at a store, one of those used, like what do you call it? The secondhand stores, Um, anyway, I found that one there in a junk area. But I like to get the ones on the card like that because those cards are really hard to find. You can find the little skeleton figure all the time, and they're really expensive on eBay. People are wanting 150, $120 for those darn things. It's crazy. But I've got 3 or 4 of them. But I do have those two on the cards, one orange card and a black card. Those were the way they displayed them in the store at the Hallmark stores in the 80s when they were first produced.
If only younger me would have picked up 1 or 2 of them, but so it goes. I want to recognize first-time commenter Andrew Haxley. Andrew, welcome to the Mr. C Dives In, and welcome to our Svengoolie conversation. He is a cool guy. We all like him a lot. Glad to have you along for the ride, Andrew. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for commenting. Michaela, she's been looking for the skeleton pin online recently so she can complete her Stormgoolie costume, hoping she can get one soon. So as was in the past, maybe the universe facilitated the 3D glasses landing with Dave. Let's hope there's some way of Michaela to be able to manifest that highly sought after item of the skeleton pin. But look at it, it's so adorable. How could it not be highly sought after, for crying out loud? All right, now here talk about some rare things to have, some rare things to find. We spoke on this last time, but again, we might have some different viewers now. And last time was 8 months ago. So go ahead. I want to tell you, I'm very continually impressed by your research process, by your chasing down the items process. This is clearly an authentic thing. Tell us all about it, please.
Yes, this patch was worn on the T-shirts of the crew that worked for the Svengoolie show on WFLD in the early days of his return as Svengoolie. When I showed this to Mr. Coes himself, he was like, "I don't even have one of those." So he was like, "Yeah, I remember those. The crew, everybody had those." So those were only for the crew, though. They were not something that was sold to the public at all.
Man, oh man! Again, I wish they kind of would put them on the MeTV website now as a recreated item, because I wouldn't mind having one, and I think even the way the red thread there off the S just kind of hangs loose a little bit, that just adds authenticity to it. It's like it's not too pristine. It's like it's anyway. I'm just impressed by it. All right, now here. Go ahead. This is from the minor league baseball crossover collaboration public appearance. Where did you pick this one up?
Yeah, this one was an eBay buy. This was from did I tell you what year that was? I'm wanting to say 2019 or 2018 or something like that. I'm not remembering what the date was, but of course it was the baseball team there out there in south side of Chicago. And this one was worn by the pitcher during that game.
All right, I hope they won. We could try to look up the records maybe, but so here's the same piece you just showed us a short couple minutes ago. The lighting you have on it gives it a good ominous tone to it. I'm appreciating your positioning and your lighting choice, the way you have this on your wall.
Yeah, that one's like I said before, that one I've never seen. Only the one time that I bought it. It's the only time I've ever seen it. So that one is obviously a rare piece. And again, Sven signed it on the back, so that makes it even cooler.
Even cooler. Now, what have we here? I know we're coming out of February, out of the Valentine's and the sweets and the treats days, but boy, oh boy, where does somebody find these items?
Okay, those were made by a chocolate company in Berwyn, Illinois, for an event that was in Berwyn. That was a Pets Plus store appearance that Sven went and appeared at, and those were free for grabbing. So I grabbed one of each, of course. They were looking at me like, "What are you doing taking so many?" And I'm like, "I gotta have them all."
Well,
You know.
it's interesting our
uh,
decision
but
process when we pick up
those
the
were not
things. And
sold. Those were
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah. So I mean, those were made to hand out for free, and I probably was a little piggish on taking one of each version. But I mean, that's what happens when you're a collector. You can't. You, sometimes your propriety goes right out the window.
But looking at now, for all the fun that has been made of Berwyn, now Sven is drawing up business for Berwyn. So we'll continue to celebrate Berwyn all around. Maybe one day we'll actually do a show from Berwyn out and about. Okay, so is this the same piece from earlier, the signature you were mentioning, or is this a different bat?
Right. That's that's the bat wing that we were just talking about, the door bat, the plastic bat that used to hang over his door when he did the hand scene before the new set was made. So before 2012.
Excellent. Maybe I could have done a better job of sequencing the pictures, because again, here we're back to the front side of the thing we looked at a minute ago. But here's the Thunderbolts jersey, and
Right.
I'm just thinking it's a great rendition of the actual graphics that they have, or the art style that they have on the show currently, to be then superimposed or woven into the design of the baseball shirt. All right, let me scroll over a little bit, and here's a wow. Are you reaching for the actual physical cup that are there behind you, or
I was. Oh, here they are.
here there? Okay, let me pull the image then, and here we go.
Yeah. These were sold at Tom and Eddie's restaurant in Chicago during a Sven visit in something like 2010 or 2009, something around there. So they were two different size cups that were sold with the meals when Sven came to visit. So imagine these cups today. People would look at it and go, "Why such a tiny little cup?" I mean, this was a large then, folks. We didn't always have cups that were 9 feet tall like we drink out of today, So, but yeah, this was a small, and this was a large.
Oh yeah, there is an actual size difference. Nanette jumping in to acknowledge that she still has the pet supply. The pet supplies plus appearance still has the candy. I think the candy's best as a display piece now. I may or may not have actually tried the gum that comes with the wacky packages well after the fact. That might have possibly been that experience. So based on that, I'll say. But here comes Chai Star with an awesome question. Warner, out of everything in your collection, what's the most meaningful piece? Do you have a singular top item, or is it you have a cluster of items that are more meaningful to you?
Well, obviously, all of them I love, but truthfully, the nesting coffins are really my favorite item, not just because I made it, but because Sven has signed it, and also because he's used it on his show multiple times, many times, probably 20, 30 times it's shown up. So this kind of has a real close thing for me.
I feel a little behind the pace now and again, I knew in my logical way that we didn't get to see all of your collection the first time around. So I shouldn't be surprised that there are other significant items that you had, but it's just, as I've seen the nesting coffin so many times on TV, I'm impressed to know that it's your handiwork. And now here's a more recent thing where, again, we're looking at Svengoolie items across the years and across time. And you got the cardboard guy right next to him. But so tell us, this is from the Trick or Treat Studios, and this is a more recent pickup. So to give us a little backstory on this.
Right. Yeah, exactly. This came out just, I don't know, it was November, I think. They wanted it out before, Trick or Treat, season in October, but it didn't quite make it. But I did buy that straight from Trick or Treat Studios through the mail. And the hat did come with it, folks. So if you are looking to buy one of those, the hat does come with it. It's but it's one of their more expensive masks because it's so much of the item there, the hair, the hat, and everything. But I had to have one, obviously.
Obviously, now I know Nanette, I believe, also has one. I know for sure Dave also has one. And I want to say, Warren, this is a bit of, and we'll speak
Nanette
more
has
on
one,
Reddit.
yeah.
We'll speak more on Reddit after we get through the rest of the pictures, but it's a bit of the inside joke, ongoing joke on Reddit. Is the hat attached or is the hat not attached? That's one of the little running themes we have in the Reddit conversation. So it looks like this hat is well secured onto the hat.
Nope,
Wouldn't be
it's separate.
concerned about the hat separating itself for this one.
Nope, sorry, the hat is separate. If you can just lift that right off his head. I actually used that hat when I did my Svengoolie submission video. So if they ever play it here, you'll see that hat on TV.
Excellent. All right, now we're just in a zone here, if you will. We're on these big ticket items, if you will. The thing that sold out faster than hotcakes.
It sure did.
The blow up Sven, the inflatable piece. So you had to get quick to order this guy. You must have. Were you like waiting for the right time to strike? How tell us about your timing in ordering this piece that sold out so quickly.
Well, actually, on that one, since I work at home, I'm here all day on the internet and goofing around and doing my work, So when that came out that morning, I bought it like 15 minutes after the notice came out that it was up there, and 7 hours later, all 600 of them that were made, poof, gone. And I think they were $89 or something like that new, and now you see them on eBay. If you're lucky, they're 170.
Man,
if you're lucky, and more. But yeah, they sold out very quickly. And that of course, folks, if you don't know, that's a Halloween blow up display that you would put in your yard. So it's like 5.5 feet tall. It's fairly large.
And again, the facial expression captured there is such an excellent interpretation of that standard Rich Coe's as Sven pose that you'll see this on the signature cards for suit. You'll see this on the promotional pieces to advertise the things, and it's such a well crafted and such a it conveys a lot with the raised eyebrow and the squinted eye on the other side. It conveys a lot. As Fanboy G is saying,
right? Now, if you want to see some. If you want to see some items, that a new collection I'm having, an artist whose name is Mr. Thayer is making a series of portraits for me of Sven and the Sven crew. And I have 6 of the 9 that I want. But first is Svengoolie.
Give me 1 second, Warner. I just wanted to also, Nanette wanted to acknowledge that the mask is so good it freaks the hubby out all the time. So now let me come out of comments so I can pull that out and bring you back up to the full. Go. It's all yours, sir. Go right ahead.
Okay, now this portrait is of Svengoolie. Kevin K. Thayer is making these for me. So there's Svengoolie himself. And Tombstone.
Oh, man.
And of course, we know who this is. Kerwin.
Now, is Kevin,
and
are these just, go ahead.
Bobby Sorrell, I got 2 more. Let me show these next 2, and I'll tell you more. And our wonderful Gwen Gooley.
Oh, man.
And finally, the last one I have so far, Nostalgia for Atu.
Oh, yeah. There he is.
So the next ones I'm doing are Dave and Anita Exorcist. So once I have all those, it'll be the 9 portraits I want from Mr. Thayer.
And now, are those just exclusive, like contract work there? Does he put this stuff out on Etsy? So this is not available in
nope.
Readily
each one of
else.
These are Nope. These are handmade and made specifically for me by Kevin Thayer. So they're hand painted, and It's his caricature work. He's very good.
Definitely nice and definitely amazing and good stuff. All right, let me come back to the rest of the pictures that we have. I think. Oh, and just here is even the package for the inflatable lawn, Sven, is a piece of treasure right there. Even that's cool to look at. Coming back, oh, the Chicago Reader again. Back in the days before the internet, and you were trying to get your news and your information on important stuff that wasn't going to necessarily show up in a Rolling Stone magazine or a Chicago magazine or the Chicago Tribune or the Chicago Sun Times or what have you. There was the Reader. So still Googling after all these years. I can't quite make out the by well, whoever wrote the article, good on them for putting it out there. So, did you just pick this one up off the newsstand, straightforward, or where did this come from?
Yeah, most of these later items I did get off of the newsstand. So,
Good. Now here we go, taking back to the pre-Me TV era, and again, I think that's the turtleneck going on there. But just looking at as Sven has been on so many different time slots across the 40 plus years, we're looking at a Saturday 5 p.m.
yeah,
era here. Man, testosterone TV. So okay, Knight Rider, Wild Wild West, Black Sheep Squadron. You got a little double bill of Robert Conrad there from Wild Wild West to Black Sheep Squadron. I don't normally group Sven as a testosterone based character, but hey, it still works. It still works. And now here we go on the Co-Zone era. Tell us what are we seeing here, Warner? It's Rich Coe's on the cover.
Yeah, yep. That's Rich there. When he was gearing up to do his Co-Zone, when he did the kids show.
Yeah. And now here again, man, this guy gets a lot of media coverage. It looks like Back to the Future, WCIU
it does in Chicago, yeah.
returns to its roots as an independent station. We got a new lot of Fanboy, and coming back around, man. Oh, there we go. Special report when chickens attack. So this is definitely more of an internet era item here, but Dropkick Murphys, Joe Strummer, so the CRC Pulse, again, something I had not heard of, but we're going back to 2002 here, the winter issue. Is it, this is also in your binder or your portfolio of other items?
Right. Yep. That's another little newspaper insert magazine. So printed on newsprint.
Man, oh man, good stuff. All right, here's something that's more current, more recent. How did this one come your way?
All right, now these unfortunately I was not able to go to New York, but these next couple of items probably, if you have them in sequence, will be from the New York Comic Con, which was Sven's first foray out east for the big giant comic convention in New York. And that was an item, a lanyard item that you wore around your neck that they gave out to the fans. And the next one was the little the little miniature posters that they handed out. They had a whole lot of stuff they handed out to fans, but in limited quantities. They didn't have tons of this stuff. They handed out what they had, and then they were gone, and then they would hand out the next grouping of items, and then it was gone. None of these were items that were sold.
Not sold at the con, but if somebody has a particular interest in this, on the metv.com, I have a store in the Svengoolie store. These are currently in stock. Not as many posters, but as actual size posters.
Right. Now, they are selling these same images as what they're calling art posters, but I think they're like 8 by 10 or something like that. These are a different size than that. They're mini posters, 14 inches. So these were all made, for the Comic-Con, and those are some of the other handouts for the Comic-Con, and they were left around the various places in the Comic-Con so people would see them and grab one and then go hunt down the Sven's, his booth there. Now, this is when they were first starting the Spawn of Svengoolie search. So at the time, you could you could go there and do your interview for Spawn of Svengoolie at the Comic-Con there.
Excellent. And okay, there's your same.
There's those portraits, yeah.
Wow. So now again, now they having it show. It's great that you're holding up the actual piece, but to have it still in where I can lock in on it right here. That I mean, just the shadowing around Tombstone's skull there, the gleeful, creepy look on Nostalgia Ferratu's face, and Kerwin, for being an inanimate object there, it captures some personality in his eyes. So tell us again the name of your artist putting this together.
He goes by the name Kevin Thayer.
Right.
And you can find him on eBay. He does portraits of all kinds of different cartoon characters and television people and things like that. But like I said, I've hired him to start doing my Svengoolie items. So got 9 portraits. I got 3 more to go before I have a completed set that I want.
We will sell no wine before it's time. We will release no portrait before it looks so impressive, top notch. Now that's
another portrait I had. Yeah, that's another portrait I had made. I showed you guys here last time.
Yes.
So and if you see down in the lower right hand corner, Sven actually saw that and signed it for me. So yeah, that one I've had for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years.
Well, and are you able to tell us the artist's name for this one, or?
You know what? I'd have to go look. I don't recall.
We'll come back to that another time.
It's the only thing I've ever taught from him. So I just don't recall his name.
We will call that a teaser or something for those of us that like to resolve mysteries that get started in one point in time. We'll come back to that another day, another place, another way. Oh boy. Oh, I love the arrow. I love the arrow. You see that?
Oh, back
that thing is over the door. That is so good. Man, oh man. Oh, and that one's just anyway. So let's
that's my website right there. That's the Svengooligans fan group that I run on Facebook, which is now the biggest Facebook group, because the really big Facebook group just got hacked a couple of weeks ago, and it's messed up and it's done. They can't do it anymore. It's finished. So that makes mine the biggest Svengoolie fan page on Facebook.
Man, you outlasted the competition, and well done. I think 8 months ago when we talked, you were approaching 50,000, and so here you are now with approaching 65,000 now.
64.
Yeah. 64.2
right.
To current, and no doubt not too long before you hit 65. Oh, I'm not looking up in the corner. We do have some comments. Let me Nanette. Yep. Nanette, remember it from Uncrypted. And again, let's speak on that. So and let me just jump to Fanboy G giving a nice exclamation for the Facebook group and its growth. So again, for the people who might be unfamiliar, and let me come back and pull the picture out of the way now. The documentary on Svengoolie, known as Uncrypted, a good number of your items appeared there, as well as did Nanette make a live appearance there, as did Sarah Gooley make a live appearance there. Because tell us about the process of having the significant piece of your collection appear on the Uncrypted documentary.
Yep, it sure did. I got contacted to possibly participate in that filming of that show, and I'm actually in the show during the Svengoolie Day at Berwyn scenes. You can see me in one of those scenes there. But they actually wanted my collection, and if you look at that scene where Sven went down the stairs and saw the collections, the big middle table, with all the items there, and the dummies of Sven and the original Sven and all the items, those were all mine. And Nanette had some of hers off to the right side or the left side, as you were looking at the screen, the left side. And Dave Fuentes had several of his shadow boxes there. But the whole middle section, which was the larger section, was mine, and that was only like so about half of my collection. I couldn't possibly get it all down there. We went down to Chicago and filmed that down in the city. So
Right, and a little behind the scenes on the documentary. Again, we might have mentioned this before, but for people who weren't viewing at that time, I want to say, so the stage is set within the documentary that Jim Roach is at the Brood Coffee House, which is the partnership and right next door of Bric-a-Brac Records. And so they have their own very impressive collection of items, but within the story of it, that Sven and Jim then go downstairs where it's actually a separate physical location. And so very, very funny. Now, if you enter that doorway, or I should say, if you approach that doorway at the Brood Coffee House, it has some kind of label to the effect of, this is not a secret Svengoolie dungeon, or some wording like that. And again, going back to August, I had the good fun and the good time of having Fanboy G and Chai Star and Junkyard and Dave, all of us together were able to make a tour, including the Horror House Chicago and the Brood and Bric-a-Brac. And so that was a real good day. So anyway, it's good to it's noteworthy that because Warner's collection is so impressive, that it makes its way onto the documentary, as is the growth of the Facebook group quite impressive. And I was wanted to speak on now. Let's talk about Reddit. So I recently became involved in the Svengoolie group on Reddit, and Warner, you just had I would call a very warm reception as you just introduced yourself over there. So welcome to another format and another venue to speak on Sven and Sven related things. Being new to Reddit, how's it working out for you so far?
yeah, so far it's pretty nice. My first post was the Svenized poster for this weekend's movie, which is showing in a few hours, How to Make a Monster. Each week, I have a completely redone movie poster for the movie that Sven is showing, and I turn all the items, the elements inside the poster into a Svengoolie, claim. Like, for instance, I made the title, instead of How to Make a Monster, How to Make a Punster, because of course Svengoolie is a horrible punster. So that was the thing there, and I put in the original poster, there's a knife in the eye. I made it a rubber chicken, and that kind of thing. So I have about 100 and almost 160 posters I've made of all the different movies that Sven has shown over the years. And each poster I have Svenized and put, allusions to the show and Sven's picture in there instead of, Frankenstein or whatnot. So I have 160 of those, and I'll be putting them up on this new Reddit thing. For me, it's new. Every week for the show. So if you want to come on over to Reddit, you'll see each of those posters each week from now on.
And where else could somebody, and believe me, I absolutely want to encourage and drive traffic and drive great Sven celebration and Sven conversation into Reddit. Nanette, if that's something you're interested in, please come over there. Michaela, if you're interested, please come on over there. But apart from Reddit, how else would somebody be able to see your graphic designs on the posters?
If you want to see all 160 at once, you can go to my Facebook group, Svengooligans, Svengoolie fans, Svengooligans, and you'll see go into the photo section where there's albums, hit albums, and then you'll see at the bottom all the movie posters. So, and then you can scroll through every single one of them, and hopefully you'll get amused by the funny little things I have there. The Svengoolie show folks have really enjoyed them. I've heard from all of them that they think they're hilarious. So one of these days, I'm going to gather up a booklet of them and give one to Sven and have him sign one for me. So and then print them out. But one of these days, I'll get around to that. But yeah, you can see them on my Facebook group right now if you want to.
Warner Chai Star is asking if you're also on Instagram for your Sven art and your own graphic design work.
I have an Instagram, but I don't use it much. I
All right.
use X, Twitter, formerly Twitter. I am on X as WT Houston on X. So me and Nanette are on there every weekend when the show is going on, and I post items there, and I do post those posters there as well.
Man, this has been what I would call a high octane conversation. Again, you had a lot of heavy hitting pieces, a lot of nuanced things that maybe can't be found, or at least can't readily be found anywhere else. If people have other questions or comments to pitch to Warner, we're at about the 50-minute mark now, so we're going to start to wind down. But thanks, Chystar. Warner, in our tradition, the first time we did a Svengoolie tribute episode was on the Fanboy Cantina channel in the year 2022. And then came last year in 2023, we had a 4-part release of Fanboy G and I talking with Dave, and Dave set us on a very good course and a very good path. But now here we are. Why do we go at this time of year? Well, because in March 12th, is the birthday of the man who dons the makeup and the man who wears the hat, Rich Coase. So these are all with the theme of let's celebrate Rich's birthday coming around. Now, Warner, whether Rich happens to pick up and view this episode or whether he doesn't, what birthday well wishes would you offer to Rich Coase as we close out our show tonight?
Well, certainly we want to wish him many, 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 many more. As soon as he started having our wonderful new Svengoolie gang, our Svengoolie squad people on there, Svengoolie and Imp and Nostalgia for Ratu, everyone's, oh, no, he's retiring. No, folks, he's not retiring. He's not. He's staying for as long as he can. But obviously we want him to stay on, forever. I mean, he's the undead, isn't he? So, hopefully he'll be with us for many years to come.
Agree. All right, couple more things. I know we're starting to wind down. We're another to share with those of us who are not with the Reddit group. I like to come up with some Jim Campbell style stumper questions. So within the Svengoolie comic, as we can see over here over my shoulder, the same Christopher Jones created art has that green tint to Sven's face. However, on the pages by Chris Jones right here in the actual comic, I know that one was easier to see than the other. So right here, for however that visible is going to be, now you have the Chris Jones portrait in a Chris Jones drawn comic page, but it's not in a green tint. So Warren, this is it's intentionally a ridiculous question. Is this a colorist error, or is this an artistic choice on the part of Chris Jones? What would you speculate? How is the actual thing green, but then in the comic it comes out not green?
Yeah, I'll bet it is a colorist accident. They probably saw that and colored it that way because it looks normal, right? But obviously, Chris Jones was trying to emulate Basil Gogos, which is the famous Monsters of Filmland artist who did all those wonderful covers of all the monsters. Basil was a fantastic artist, and his style with all those greens and reds and yellows modeled into the face and the background. That is the style that he was trying to emulate. So I'm sure the colorist in the comic book was like, that's supposed to be, skin color and everything. So yeah, I'm sure it was a colorist error, is my guess.
As Nanette had pointed out, that Chris Jones is already a listed guest for C2E2 coming up in April. So hopefully the schedule works out as it's supposed to be, and hopefully we'll get to have a minute at the table of Chris Jones to check out his Sven art, his other comic art, and I would like to, in a comedic way, ask him that question. All right, Warner, any other closing thoughts do you have for us before we wrap this one up?
Well, obviously, this is all great fun, and some may think that I'm a goofball at my age, getting all so interested in a TV show like this. But it's really, Svengoolie is different because he's fun for the whole family. He's fun for everybody. He's not political. He's not political. He doesn't do blue, he's not mean. It's just fun, goofy fun for everybody. And in this day and age, we really need goofy fun for everybody. Don't you think?
You couldn't have set me up any better for that, for my closing piece. So newly listed on Etsy from previous guests on the channel, and as this very image was featured on the show some months ago, trying to avoid the glare, we got Barbie and the Creature of the Black Lagoon hanging out together. Nicole Hoff is our artist behind that, and here's her new, just listed on her Etsy. Now this time around, Barbie and the Creature are taking a little swim together. So again, if you're looking for that for your comedy and your celebration of things around your house, around your place, Nicole's work can be found on Etsy and on her own NicoleHoff.com. Super, and that just came in the mail right before we went live. Warner, I thank you for having been on before, and I thank you for having come on again. Next live, okay, here we go. Chai Star. Next week, same baddish time, same baddish channel. We'll have other people. One of the senior moderator, if you will, of the Reddit community is going to come on, and we're going to talk about the history of how Sven gets celebrated around Reddit. And again, there's a lot of clever banter and good fun and comedy going around there. So we will be back again. Thank you, Chai Star, for your traditional question. As I always like to, thanks Chai Star, thanks Nanette, thanks Michaela, thanks Fanboy G. And who was our new person? Was it Andrew? I'm scrolling back up to see the commenter. Well, thanks to the new guy for jumping in and watching and for commenting also. I'm going to close us out for now. Sven will be on tonight if you're watching live at 7 p.m. Central, or if you're in the other time zones, please adjust as such. Warner, again, much appreciation. I think our next time I'll run into you was probably C2E2. I'm looking forward to it. And until then, everybody, take care. Drop comments here, drop comments there. Thanks for coming around, and we are out.